What's up? I'm back. It's your boy Chris back with another video. Uh Today is going to be another absolute beginner tutorial video for Autodesk Fusion 360 and CAD in general. Um Kind of applies to at least all the CAD software I've used. Inventor, Autodesk, the other one AutoCAD, and then SolidWorks, and of course this one, Fusion 360. Today we're going to be making a plate with some holes on it, and we're just going to walk our way through that, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select a plane to draw our sketch in. If you've watched my previous video, which I totally recommend, it's the absolute beginner. You could probably do it in 2 minutes, so just take a look, skim your way through, or don't. You might be able to figure it out on your own, but if you can't, that's a good place to start. Anyway, we're going to select our XY plane to start our sketch, and as you've seen, we just did that. So we're going to start dimensioning our plate. We can actually select the rectangle tool and draw out a rectangle. As you can see, these two lines are already fully, or not fully defined. Their length isn't defined, but these points are defined because I've selected the origin. Alright, so the only thing left to do is the vertical and horizontal constraints have automatically been applied. So we are going to dimension them. So we'll make that, 50. We can make this one 70. And this is in millimeters, so it would be 7 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Alright, and that's all you need to do to start. Just to kind of demonstrate how you do the same thing with a line, I'm just going to redo the whole thing real quick. So I'm going to select everything and delete it, and we're going to do it with a line. So we're going to select the line tool instead, and we'll select the origin for a point. We'll just draw 4 connecting lines, right? So now we have 4 connecting lines, not in a rectangle in any way, shape, or form. So what we can do is we can select our horizontal vertical tool from the constraints toolbar and just apply them to each of the 4 sides of our rectangle. And now we're exactly where we were before. The only thing we need to do is dimension our sketches again. So we'll do 50 and 70. Alright. And now we are going to be getting into construction geometry, because we're going to add holes in our plates so that you can screw something across it or into it. So I'm going to draw a couple circles here. Alright. And we want these all to be the same size. So we're going to start with a constraint, the equal constraint. When you apply this to circles, what happens is they it makes their radii equal. So we're going to apply that to this, and then this, and then this. So now their radii, these 3, their radii are all going to be the same as this one's. So that's the only one we have to dimension. So we can dimension that. We can make that 7 millimeters. That's a nice, good looking length. Alright. And now we can select our horizontal vertical tool again from the constraints toolbar. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make all of these center points either horizontal with each other, as with these two and these two, or vertical to each other, as with these two and these two. You might have noticed there was a dotted line when I was making this one, so it may already be applied for this one. We're going to see. So you can just select center points, and that will indicate that they are horizontal with each other. Once again, select the center points, and they're horizontal with each other now. Now do the same thing, but with vertical points. You can see it snapped it into position so it's vertical, and I'll probably do the same thing here. Perfect. All right, now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to dimension the distance between this center point and this outer edge. So we can take a sketch dimension, and I lied, we actually don't need to use construction geometry for this. So we'll make that 10 millimeters away, and likewise we'll do the same thing here. 10 millimeters away. Now this one is fully defined, but as you can see, we can still move these out. So what we're going to do now is we know this is 10 millimeters away. So in order to make this one 10 millimeters away from this edge, we can just, we can do two things. We can dimension this as well, or actually we'll use construction geometry because that'll be fun. So as you can see, it's locked into place. You can see the right angle right by this edge. So we're just going to make it coincident here. We'll do the same thing here. All right. So now we have a line that's defined here. And I can move this out of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to make both of these lines construction geometry. So if you hit Control and click on both of them, then they're both selected. As you can see, they're highlighted in blue. And under the right click menu, you can see normal construction toggle is available. And the last thing you're going to do is select the equal feature from the constraints toolbar and select both of these. And as you can see, this one becomes fully defined. Likewise, you can do the same thing with this one and this one. So you can get a line. You can draw it from here to here. And you have to make sure that it's snapped into place or the coincident constraint is applied to this line and the edge line right here. And we'll do the same thing right here. And so as you can see right here, this is actually a white dot, so that leads me to believe that it's not actually fully defined. As you can see, it's not coincident. So we can select our coincident tool, make it coincident with that. Now as you can see, the line, the point is hidden. And if we were to select it, we can't move it. It's fully defined. All right, so now we're going to make both of these lines construction geometry. So we can go ahead and select both of those and make them construction. And the final thing is we apply the equal tool to both of them. And as you can see, now all of our holes are fully defined. All right, and now our plate sketch, our cross-section sketch for our plate is complete, and we can select Finish Sketch. Now we can select the Extrude feature. Let's change our view so it's more obvious that it's being extruded here. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so we can select our profile. As you can see, it automatically cuts out this whole cross section right here. If you want to see another way of doing that, you can take a look at my other video for the pipe, but for now this should be good enough. Start profile plane, that sounds about right. That's the XY plane that we sketched in. Direction, we're just going to do one side. Extent, we'll make that a distance. We'll make that distance, I don't know, let's experiment here. 10 millimeters, it's kind of thick. How about 5? That's pretty good. Alright, and we don't want any taper angle. So we do that and select OK. And now we have a plate. The last thing we're going to do to add some finishing features to the plate and make it look a little bit better is we are going to apply the fillet feature. Fillet. I actually don't really know how to pronounce it, but we're going to apply that feature to the edge right here, 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 and here. So the 4 edges made from extruding the corners of our plate. So we're just going to select the fillet tool or fillet tool from the modify menu in our features toolbar. And now we can go ahead and select our edges. So that's this one. And now you can't click here. If you try and click this, then it's going to exit out, or maybe it won't. I was doing that earlier with the, yeah, okay. So you can't click this and then click the select. I think you have to click over here or something. So what I do instead is it's just a lot easier to manipulate this, and then it doesn't, block this out. So you can select that edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. All right. So now we've selected the 4 edges, as you can see. Now the only thing we need to do is provide a radius for this. And like I said, we can just kind of experiment with this. 10 millimeters looks pretty good, so we'll just stick with that. We'll select OK. All right. And that is our plate. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. If you have any requests for, maybe something you want to see built or designed here in Fusion 360, I can go ahead and show you how to do that. You can leave that in the comments down below too. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. If you want to start with something maybe a little bit simpler, you can go ahead and check out my other video. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Take care.